Okay, so I want to start this episode with what seems to be a universal truth among CPAP users, and that is that we are basically given a machine and sent off packing and not really told much. I mean, if you ask the average person in the street, what is sleep apnea? They'd probably say it's snoring and tiredness. And what we're not told is that untreated sleep apnea has so many serious health consequences that we should be told. I mean, it really is a pandemic on a global scale. About 80 million people in the United States alone have untreated sleep apnea. And the fact that you and I are already treating it puts us ahead of the curve. But it also, I think, if you know what the health consequences are, if you don't continue your treatment, it might really help. I'm not doing this to guilt anyone or scare anyone. I just think that knowledge is power. So I'm going to list all the conditions that untreated sleep apnea can and will cause. And it's a pretty depressing list, so much so I had to write it down here on a piece of paper, and I'm going to read it off for you right now very quickly. So first of all, your heart. You have twice the risk of heart attack, 71% more likely to develop cardiovascular disease. Your brain. This one is shocking to me. 28% higher risk of Alzheimer's. That's because during deep sleep, your brain kind of cleans itself out and cleans all these toxins out that help prevent things like Alzheimer's. Your blood sugar. 7 in 10 type 2 diabetes sufferers have obstructive sleep apnea. Your blood pressure. 80% of people whose hypertension doesn't respond to medication have undiagnosed sleep apnea. Think about that. That's God knows how many people, probably someone that you know. Your heart rhythm. Up to 74% of people with atrial fibrillation have sleep apnea. That's another huge number. Something else I can attest to as well is that once my airway was treated, I did have problems with a rapidly beating heart, as many of you might know, having followed previous episodes, which has since been addressed with beta blockers. But imagine if that had just continued for a very long time. I mean, the point I'm trying to make is whether you stop breathing with untreated sleep apnea twice an hour or 100 times a night, every time that happens to you, your body is kind of going into this fight or flight syndrome and flooding your body with all sorts of chemicals to keep you going. And then you start breathing again, and it happens again, then you stop breathing again, and it goes on for potentially years. So here's another one that really is a big one. This is mental health. Nearly half of all sleep apnea patients show signs of depression or anxiety. Chronic oxygen deprivation alters brain chemistry. Basically, you're not just tired, you're being chemically changed by this condition, by untreated sleep apnea. I mean, that's fairly shocking. Stroke, up to 86% increased risk. One night without treatment can damage blood vessels. Now, again, this isn't for me. I'm not doing this to frighten you, to shock you. I just think this speaks to a systematic failure within the medical and the health industry, because the fact that you are just kind of given this mask and machine and sent away without being told what the consequences of not using it, it's really just a failure on a massive, massive scale. So, again, it's knowledge is power. If you are aware that all these conditions will affect you if you don't treat your sleep apnea, and you're struggling, say, with the mask, or you're struggling with the lifestyle changes, then knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. If you know that you not wearing your mask or you giving up your CPAP therapy has these kinds of ramifications, then maybe you'll think twice. And again, I'm not trying to force anything down your throat. You're all grown-up people. I just think that you need to know these things. I certainly didn't when I first got the machine. I had to do the research. I had to look into this, and it frankly shocked and frightened me. We all have people that love us and depend on us, and the thought that I could get early onset of Alzheimer's disease or cardiovascular disease because I didn't put my mask on at night is nuts. But then when you think about what your body is going through when you have untreated sleep apnea. It's not really surprising, and given that we spend a third of our lives asleep, you kind of become more hyper aware of what sleep actually does for you. So, I mean, that's it. I don't want to lecture you anymore. Like I said, you're all grown-up people. I just wanted you to know, and I'll see you next time.